gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus. And we're back. Thank you guys all for the well wishes. Thank you all so much for letting me take that week-long break. And of course, we're sitting in front of a bunch of old ruins. Well, where could we be going today? As it turns out, we're actually going to be playing a little bit of Indiana Jones today, as we are going to go into the dungeon known, or the former Titan site known as Uldaman. So really quick, let's go ahead and get our background for it, and then we'll go ahead and get started, because Uldaman is still kind of shrouded in mystery. We don't know everything about it, but we know a good deal. Let's see, Uldaman, where is it? Uldaman, there it is. So Uldaman is an ancient Titan vault buried deep within the earth. It is said the Titans sealed away a failed experiment there and then moved on to a new project. Related to the genesis of the dwarves, tales of a fabled treasure containing great knowledge have enticed would-be treasure hunters to dig deeper into the secrets of Uldaman, a task made perilous by the presence of stone defenders, savage trogs, dark iron invaders, and other dangers lurking in the lost city. So this is actually really close to dwarven territory. And funniest thing about that, it actually has to deal with the origin of the dwarves. So in essence, like, I believe if you go in here for the Alliance, you will be dealing with Bran Bronzebeard, since he is kind of the main guy that we go to for Titan lore, or at least for the Alliance. When it comes to raids like Ulduar, then you're going to deal with Bran as Horde. But for the most part, we're going to be dealing with, I think, the Reliquary in here as Horde. And this actually is the entrance to Uldaman. Now, Uldaman's big, so I'm going to try and cover it as much of it as I can. So we're not taking too many detours, but just keeping that in mind. Yeah, so we deal with the Reliquary primarily in Uldaman. We have a couple of quests in here. So behind closed doors, Galcon Firehammer and his band of dark irons are in the Dig 3 guarding a door that we know nothing about. I've had it with their men getting in the way of our work here. The Reliquary is the only group authorized to handle the artifacts throughout Uldaman. Go to the Dig and dispose of him so that our work can continue undisturbed. I want to know what's behind that door.
Death to all who oppose us.
Then we also have we require more minerals. Starcraft reference. So the Titans built 2 ancient stone keepers to help protect Uldaman from would-be invaders, and to oversee daily operations while Ironaya and Arcadis slumber. One is still fully operational in the Temple Hall, but the one in Echomock Cavern has been corrupted by something. I suspect that one of the old gods is responsible for this, and you're going to have to help me see if that is indeed true. Topple both of the Guardians and bring me their power cores. They'll tell us all we need to know. Alright, and then we also have High Examiner Thalen Bloodwatcher.
Our enemies will fall.
Yes. You have a quest for me. The Chamber of Cosmul. In the map chamber, there's a locked door, which I believe leads to a legendary chamber of Cosmul. We do not yet know what artifacts wait inside it. What we do know is that it is guarded by Ironaya, a titanic watcher of immense size and power. You'll need to defeat her if you intend to progress any further into this place. Farewell. So we need to defeat Ironaya. Now, there's technically 3 main bosses here, but there's tons of optional bosses. So we're going to try and tackle as many of them as we can. I may try and tackle whatever loot I can grab. Here we go. And so as you can see, it looks kind of like old Greek ruins, old Roman ruins. That's a lot of the feel that you get for Titan ruins. Except in later references, like Ulduar doesn't necessarily hold true to all of that. Oh, and so fun fact, back here is actually where I believe you had to deal with a specific enchanting trainer. And I think there was even another profession trainer that you had to deal with here as well, to be able to push your professions further back in vanilla WoW. Now, we actually have a reference to the first ever, or the first intellectual property by Blizzard that wasn't something else, the Lost Vikings, because we have Olaf, we have Eric the Swift, and we have Balog. Which, as I said when we quested in Badlands, if you're Alliance, you actually quest with the Lost Vikings. So that's something else that's really fun to see as a reference to old Blizzard lore. And people have actually asked me if I'm ever going to do like a Let's Play on the Lost Vikings. I don't know. I haven't tried to make it run on PC, but you know what? I'll give it a shot and see if I can make it work. Let's just keep this thing a-going. Oh, and we actually have come across our first boss, which is Revelosh. So let's bring up the Dungeon Journal really quick. Revelosh. Some luminaries in Ironforge's prestigious Explorers League have theorized an ancestral link between their people and the Trogs, and pointed towards the Trogs' hoarding of Titan artifacts as a reflection of the dwarves' own reverence for such wondrous devices. If that is true, the Trog known as Revelosh can be considered the Trog equivalent of an archaeologist, although any historically minded adventurers who encounter him would be more inclined to call him a thief. So let's go ahead and take care of him, because apparently he ain't good. He's just no good. There we go. I think I had a little bit of lag there. That's what happened. Here we go. And this is actually a really cool chamber. Just go ahead and take care of all of these guys in the area. So if you'll notice, if you're a big film buff or a big geek, you'll notice that this looks kind of familiar. Back in vanilla days, you actually had a quest to assemble a staff of Ra, so to speak, and just like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's a nice little keystone to put it in. So let's go ahead and do this, because the next boss is upcoming. So I'm just going to try and get this in the camera. Oh, would you look at that? Is that where the Ark of the Covenant is? Cool.
None may steal the secrets of the makers.
And here is Ironaya. We have to take care of her, unfortunately, first. But hey, we got a quest done while we were taking care of it. Let's go ahead and read her journal entry, though. Oh, the Lost Dwarfs. You actually can take care of them as an optional boss, but I'm not going to worry about that. Ironaya. The Titans did not construct the Uldaman complex directly, but utilized various servants to create its megalithic halls. The Pantheon entrusted the Watcher Ironaya with overseeing the construction of the maintenance of Uldaman. But as time passed, the once awe-inspiring vault fell to ruin. Within the map chamber, Ironaya has spent millennia in the form of stasis, analyzing the original master plan drawn up by Khazgaroth, a Titan of the Pantheon, and attempting to find a way to restore the complex to its original functionality. So we've already taken care of this. Reliquary agents are en route to investigate the chamber. You have more matters to attend to. Oh, and now we need to take care of Arcadis the Stone Watcher. The true goal in Uldaman is to obtain the discs of Norganon, another Titan. These platinum discs could grant our order unbelievable power. Countless secrets of the Makers are inscribed on them. Their value is beyond any material wealth you could possibly imagine. The only problem in obtaining them is that Arcadis, an ancient and powerful creation of the Makers, guards the discs with a venerable army at his disposal. I need you to defeat him and secure the discs for the reliquary. Okay, so not really a whole lot in here that you can check out. But now that we've taken care of Ironaya, we actually have a lot of the more optional bosses now becoming available. So we're going to take care of them as we go along. Trying to think who is the first one we can take care of. Not really going to worry about picking up stuff from basilisks and whatnot. Okay. Oh, and this is actually going to take us, I think, to... Nope, it's the Obsidian Sentinel, so we're not going to worry about that. Oh no, there's Dark Irons in here. Shadow Forge. And here's the Obsidian Sentinel. So, we actually just barely took care of a boss. Let's go ahead and look into it. The Obsidian Sentinel. The Obsidian Sentinel was responsible for guarding Uldaman's secrets until it was corrupted by an unknown force. Originally crafted from the same stone as the halls of Uldaman itself, this keeper has had the majority of its body replaced with dark glass capable of reflecting spells. Whatever was responsible for the Obsidian Sentinel's transformation must be incredibly potent, for it is not easy to alter the enchanted stone of a Titan construct. So now that we've taken care of him, we can actually move on to the next boss, which is another essential one. Oh. We are going to need to take a quick detour. I'm just kind of going through the map as quick as I'm able. Oh, look, and here's some earthen. So that's actually the original form of the dwarves, is the earthen. And later on, they were then corrupted by being given the curse of flesh. Hey, look, treasure chest that I'm not gonna care about. There we go. And here is the other keeper, the ancient stone keeper. Let's go ahead and read his. One of the many golems that staffed and operated the Great and Titan Vault, the ancient stone keeper was part of a small group that served as an intermediary between the watchers left in control of the facility and their many servants. With the corruption of the Obsidian Sentinel, the Ancient Stone Keeper is the last of its kind, performing its duty by protecting the secrets of the Titans as best as it can until its inevitable shutdown. Oh, and with that, we actually have a Stone Steward, so let's go ahead and take care of you. Yay! There we go, so yet another boss taken care of, and now we can go deeper into Uldaman. There is stuff up there, but we're not going to worry about that too much. Now, in order to go further, we are going to need to detour just a little bit. But that's okay. Deeper and deeper into Uldaman we go. And as you can see, it's mostly just like an archaeology research kind of deal. It's just too much eroded away until we get deeper, and then we actually get into the legit facility. Don't care about you, Mr. Bat. And over here is the other Shadowforge encampment. So we'll go ahead and take care of it. And there is Galcon Firehammer. So let's go ahead and read up on the lore for him. Reacting to the discovery of Uldaman by Bronzebeard dwarves, the Dark Iron clan mounted an invasion of the vault to stop their ancestral foes from accessing the powerful artifacts within. Galcon Firehammer, a senator from Shadowforge City, which is in Blackrock Depths, was sent to oversee the continued excavation of Uldaman so that the Emperor may harness the artifact's destructive potential against the Dark Iron's enemies. So with that, let's go ahead and take care of his friends.
Slay them.
Bye. So that's another boss down. One more we need to take care of. And I believe he's on the way to Arcadis. No, he's not. But he's not too much of a detour. Whee! Go ahead and kill these Trogs. And we actually have another Trog leader. Grimlock. Familiar name. I've actually never been able to confirm if this is actually a reference to Transformers Grimlock. So if anybody could actually help me out on that, please let me know. I would really love to know that little tidbit. Grimlock. In Trog society, the biggest, strongest, and most vicious Trog often becomes chieftain through displays of power. Grimlock is a comparative genius in that he has maintained control of the Stone Vault Trogs through intimidation and what might be considered crude psychological warfare. Having trained a deadly basilisk, Grimlock uses the threat of petrification by his beast to keep any would-be usurpers in line. Well, that's just cruel! Okay, well, we're gonna take care of you then.
Grimlock, king!
He has to be a Transformers reference, because he does. You just heard it. That's a Grimlock line. So that's my hope, is that he is actually a Transformers reference. That would be awesome. Alright, well, there is one more boss to take care of, and that is Arcadis the Stone Watcher. Thankfully, though, we don't have to go too far to find him. So we're going to take one of these little back areas. Don't care about you. And we're just going to go into the Hall of the Crafters. Sneak past these guys, and all you have to do is open up this temple door. And now we are in the Hall of the Crafters. This is what's remaining of the Titan facility in Uldaman. Now, fun fact also, if you have the Warcraft Chronicle, they've actually added into the lore of Ironaya and Arcadis. We now know that they are Titan Keepers that were bestowed their powers by the... they're Titan Forged that have been bestowed their powers by the Titan Keepers of Ulduar. So, I could dig out my Chronicle, but I want to try and get through this as quick as I can. We are actually opening up the door. Just got to take care of these Stone Keepers. None shall pass. None shall pass. So, take care of these earthen in here. Oh, wrong way. We have to go deep. Whee! Oh, that was awesome. I didn't even think it would do that much damage.
Inventory is full.
Oh no, we finally hit the inventory cap. Item cap rage! Hi guys, meet my spin kick.
I can't carry anymore.
And in here is the dormant Arcadis the Watcher. So before we actually activate him and take him out, let's go ahead and read up on him. Deep within Uldaman is a chamber containing one of the greatest treasures of the Titans, created by Norganon himself. However, thus far, no explorers have managed to gain access to the relic, for any attempt at doing so activates the Great Watcher Arcadis, an immense guardian who easily dispatches treasure seekers through his powerful attacks and a veritable army of servants. Crafted from some of the oldest, strongest stone taken from Uldaman's depths, Arcadis is a foe as formidable as he is ancient. And fun fact, back in Vanilla, in order to be able to do him, he was not soloable. You had to at least bring, I think, 2 or 3 people to manage this altar of Arcadis, and then you would be able to put... Same thing with the altar above that we just barely dealt with. Now they've made it so that you can just come in here and solo it. Yeah, you had to at least have 3 people to take care of this. Arcadis breaks free from his stone slumber. Oh no!
Who dares awaken Arcadis? Who dares the wrath of the Makers?
Hi, I'm Drakfu. I punch things. They die. Pretty epic, actually.
Inventory is full.
To this day, that's still pretty epic. Let's go ahead and just toss these Raptor War Feathers. Don't care. And let's go ahead and turn in this quest. You are a most reliable agent, Drakfu. Proceed to the discs and learn all you can. Report back to me immediately after. Alright, so all we have to do is come in here, and that is the Discs of Norganon. Now, here's the thing that's probably going to irritate a few people for lore. I'm not going to read through all of this, because I actually think some of the stuff in the Warcraft Chronicle now kind of contradicts what's in the discs. And the discs are pretty lengthy, so we're going to go ahead and accept the quest. The centerpiece of this treasure chamber are 4 huge platinum discs, each adorned with numerous sigils of an unknown origin. Touching them makes your hand tingle. Just after touching the discs, the visage of a large stone watcher springs forth. Salutations! Salutations! I am a keeper of knowledge. The creator's synthesis of the earthen has been chronicled and stored here for this world in the discs of Norganon. You have uncovered a wealth of previously undiscovered worldly lore. And so there's the lore keeper of Norganon, and actually, so the quest is to actually learn all that you can about the lore, and this basically goes into stuff that we actually can hear in numerous other places like the Halls of Stone and Wrath of the Lich King. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip through this. I know that's probably going to irritate a few of you, but I'm actually a little bit on a time limit here, and if you want to know this stuff, honestly, the Warcraft Chronicle is going to have this stuff. So you guys are going to be completely covered on that one. And if you want, like, more in-depth as to what it covers, I can probably put a link in the description to what's actually in the discs, and you can read it yourself. There we go. Resilient foundation of construction. Boom. So the earthen were made out of stone. Yes, they were. I think I understand the creator's design intent for the earthen now. What are the earthen's anomalies that you spoke of earlier, which would be the origin of the trogs? Yes, they are earthen anomalies. I think they're the first example of the curse of flesh taking over the earthen. There we go. Yes, 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 yes. Go through this. Who are the creators? That would be the Titans. Oh. I will access the discs now, so I've learned everything that I can learn. Following the instructions of the Stone Watcher, you once again access the Discs of Norganon, now that you have learned about the history of the Earthen, the Trogs, and the Dwarves. A faint, brief hum is heard from within the discs. The Stone Watcher then speaks. The discs have now been synthesized. Access the Discs of Norganon once more to receive your personal copy. Touching the Discs of Norganon once again makes your hand tingle. This time, however, a strange grinding noise is heard from inside the discs. Your backpack suddenly becomes heavier than it was before. Inside, you discover a miniature version of the discs. No doubt, an item of this sort would be invaluable for someone interested in the ancient history of Azeroth. Someone would sure be interested in this. So you need to take the miniature version of the discs to someone very interested in them. Otherwise, you're representative. So in this case, it would be the reliquary for me. So here we go. Grab the quest. Now, we need to go backtrack a little bit to go turn in these quests. So I'm going to go ahead and magic cut, and we'll be back at the beginning. Okay, we're back. After the long trek back to the beginning of the instance, let's go ahead and turn in these quests. Starting with Lydia Sunglow. Well done. Dig 3 and any secret spot beyond that door will soon be ours, and ours alone. And then Aradin Sunglow. We require more minerals. Do you have the cores with you? Or are you just here to chat? Perhaps we should stop this whole charade and enjoy some snacks and fine wine instead. Both of these cores are still far more potent than most of the cores we can use to power our own protectors, and these are ancient devices. Thank you. These will prove extremely valuable to our society.
We will have justice.
And then finally, the Discs of Norganon. What is it you have there? What did you learn from the discs? These discs will change everything. Their secrets are ours now. And with that, we actually get a brand spanking new weapon that we can't use. But it would be pointless for us to use. So that's actually going to go ahead and wrap things up for Dungeons & Drakfu's Uldaman edition. And when we get back with more, I know that you guys don't like doing all these winged instances, but the next one in line is a winged one. So probably a good portion of the week is going to be taken up with Dungeons & Drakfu's as we go into the depths of, or not the depths, but as we go into the wilds of Feralus to take on Dire Maul. We'll see you guys next time.